Hey everybody, we have a special treat today. This is Anne from Skinsuit Manual. She has agreed to come on and answer some questions for us. Welcome, Anne. It's awesome
Thank
to
you,
have you
Amy.
here. Yes,
Oh,
yay.
it's really lovely to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't watched Skinsuit Manual, get your little thinking caps ready. You're going to be learning a lot. And she talks about a holographic universe and all kinds of wonderful things about quantum mechanics and quantum physics and stuff that I looked into years ago and didn't go real deep into that rabbit hole, but understood it. And some of the things really stayed with me. So I think it's just incredible what she's delving into and the information and the knowledge that she has. And I gotta say, her husband is a part of her mission, a part of her life, and what she's doing in the background too. And he's incredible. And Sean Bond also has, like, all of these guys are just like little superheroes in the background of our world right now. So yeah, amazing people. So anything you want to say about that or about your channel?
No, only that I was not really interested in making a YouTube channel at all because I do a lot of missions. I don't really have a lot of clients, but I do a lot of missions for the planet and for humanity and for
Yay.
whatever. And so, and it's a daily job,
Can you describe
it,
what does that mean? You do missions.
well, I'll unite soul lineages that are on this planet. For example, the dragon lineages. I'll try to unite them. I try to unite people with other people to heal any conflict between them. And when you go into healing a soul lineage, you can go back to ancient Rome or Atlantis where a lot of trauma happened. And so it could take a day, or 3 days, not full time. But it's quite an epic job, to say the least, because,
Yeah.
the places you go and the entities that you have to deal with, it can be very challenging and really frustrating, and then absolutely joyous when you are successful. I work on the Earth grid, and which is something I didn't know anything about until recently. Um, I work with some whale collectives. I do a lot of work with jinn, the
Oh,
genie.
yeah, the narwhal is how we came together.
Yes,
Because
yes.
he gave me a message, and then you talked about talking to a narwhal, and I was like, well, I wonder if it's the same narwhal. We never did talk about that when we talked.
The
Funny.
unicorns of the sea.
Yeah. So you're basically doing you're just working for Spirit full time.
Yeah. So I didn't really want to make a YouTube channel. I had no interest. But then my higher self was really putting the pressure on me. You have to start a YouTube channel. You have to start a YouTube channel. I'm like, I don't want to start a YouTube channel. What am I going to say? Because I do deal with a lot of really dark entities. I go deep and I go dark. And it's not very nice. The things I see and the things I have to do are not very nice. They're not very pleasant. And for me to get on YouTube and just say, well, today I did this, demonic interaction. I mean, that's not what really people want to hear. And I question, do they need to hear it? I mean,
Right.
we need to look at the dark, but we really, to raise our vibration, to be who we came here to be, we really need to be just unconditional love and unconditional forgiveness. So I was really forced or coerced and really pushed by the universe that I am to start this YouTube channel. And so it is what it is, isn't
Well,
it?
thank you for doing the wonderful work you're doing. And You know, some of you watching might actually be going on missions yourself and not knowing it, you know, like
I'm
doing
sure.
it in your dreams and
Yeah,
doing it,
some
you know.
people I've met, I've just been hit with, oh, you do this, that, and the other. And they're like, oh, how did you know that? They had no idea what their unique skin suit abilities were or are. And yeah, I tell them what they do, and they're like, yes, I do that all the time. I'm like, yeah, that's for humanity. So a
Yeah.
lot of people are working in their dream time or in their waking time, not even realizing what they're doing. So, as if you're following your passion and doing what you love, pretty much your
You're going to be
skin suit,
supported.
yeah, you'll be supported, and your unique skin suit abilities will be associated with doing what you love. You have what you need. You have the abilities and the superpowers to do what you need to do.
Okay, this leads into one of my questions. What is a skin suit? And it's, you know, it just makes me think of, you know, just this body basically. But what is the skin suit and like skin, you've referenced skin suit tech. Can you talk about that a little bit?
That's a really good question, because it was something that I developed, and then Sean Bond helped me develop that as well. Our skin suit, my understanding of the skin suit is it is the energy and our being. It's what we are. And we are in like a dense, solid realm. Most of us can't walk through walls. We can touch, everything has a physicality to it. But our bodies are multidimensional, as is our realm. So our bodies are multidimensional. And our skin suits, or the bodies that we inhabit, are also multidimensional. So we have the 3D physical body with skin, hair, organs. And then we have an aura or a light body.
Our
And
chakras.
this chakras, chakra is something that a doctor can't see, but we can feel them, or they're there. And so we have all this skin suit technology that is interdimensional, that we can't see, but we can intuit, or we can develop abilities to see them and to maintain them. And they can get stolen too.
And who would want to steal them, and what could we do if they do?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So
it's another rabbit hole, isn't it?
That's another rabbit hole. But so yeah, our skin suits, our DNA is also multidimensional. I'm just going to finish off with the skin suit a bit. Our DNA is also multidimensional, and within our DNA is our soul lineages. So everything really is within us. We have universes within us that we access from within. And we can have portals. Some of our chakras are portals. We can also have portals imposed upon us and fake chakras imposed upon us. We can have restraints in the other dimensions, like we can have a wrist restraint, or chains around our ankles, or a snake around our neck. These etheric restraints also. So sometimes if you have a really painful shoulder, it might just be that you have a massive piece of armor on your shoulder that's either a restraint or a piece of armor from a battle of, ancient Rome trauma. And you can literally just think, oh, well, my shoulder is really sore, and maybe it's a bleed through from a version of yourself in ancient Rome. So you can literally just imagine whatever you want there, like a piece of armor, and just pull it off. And sometimes you can have this immediate healing of yourself. I mean, this really can work.
Totally.
If you've got a tight throat, You can just like go in and grab and just pull the chains or the rope or, whatever it is, just get it off.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
just put it in a quantum dumpster. Don't put it on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
because if it's sentient, it might slither away and go and get on someone else or get back on you.
Okay, so wait, what's sentient? What do you mean by sentient?
Alive, I mean, the chains, they could be alive, or a snake, or you could have a little demon, a little critter on your shoulder that's
and you don't want it to just go sneaking off to somebody else and getting them.
Yeah. So you just want to like bag it up, quantum bag, use your imagination, quantum bag, and put it in a quantum dumpster that you create in your imagination. Perfect. And these are some really cool tricks that they don't always work, because we don't know what the problem is, but sometimes it actually works.
Absolutely. I use this all the time. Yeah, totally. We've talked about how we do the same things, but we just do them different from each other. You're much more detail oriented, and I'm more like, could you please take care of it? But I'll see the thing lift off, and I'll see where it's from, or whether it was a past life, or whatever. What about past lives? Actually, let's go there, and then we'll go to stealing the DNA.
Okay.
What is a past life to you?
Yeah, my understanding of past lives is that technically it's happening now. All time is one. And we're in false linear time. Well, I guess it's not false because we believe it to be real. But time can be stretched out or it can contract. And that's why some days feel like they're lasting forever. And then suddenly it's Saturday and you think, God, where did the week go?
Yeah.
So time can actually expand and compress or contract. And so linear time is really like a social agreement almost. And all time is one. So our past lives are happening absolutely at this current present moment. And we have bleed throughs from these versions of ourselves that may be male or female or not even human. It might be a unicorn version of you or a dragon version of you or goodness knows what. And so they can bleed through to you, and your highest self will kind of pick and choose what you need to heal or what you're in a good space to heal. So sometimes, you'll have a sore back, or, your knee will suddenly go, or something will happen, and that's probably dimensional. I mean, of course, if you get hit by a hammer, okay, not dimensional, but
and somebody in another another version of you is going, ow, what happened to my knee?
That's true.
That must be me. That's the human over there.
Yeah, and this is what we call a quantum entanglement. What we do here, we are quantumly entangled with many versions of ourselves, both good guys and bad guys. And that's why a lot of our entourage or our guides, some of them are in a density too. Some of them are in a much higher dimension, like a little ball of light floating around. And others are just in the fifth or sixth dimension. They're in a physical dimension too. And we can have quantum entanglements with them. And if they're in a battle, out there and in density, that can really affect us. Sometimes we wake up, we just think we slept badly, but in fact, it's a dimensional entanglement where another version of ourselves is in trauma. And so it really is one of our jobs here. One of the reasons why we're here, I do believe, is to heal these many versions, these many bad versions of ourselves that are the bad guys that are enslaving us. So it's really versions of us enslaving us.
How interesting is that?
Yeah. And the only way
Look,
to stop this, I really believe, is to heal ourselves.
I was just going to say that. And we
Yeah,
do that through healing ourselves.
that's
Yes.
exactly why we're here and what we're doing. And we do that in following our passion. If you want to heal yourself and raise your vibration, all you have to do is follow your passion. And that is
Yeah.
not so easy.
Ah,
I mean, I know you're following your passion. Well done, you.
thank you. You too.
Well,
It is scary though. It is really scary. So you can
yeah,
go
but
into that if you want.
our,
Yeah.
our skin suit technology, we're packing all the skin suit technology and authority we need to do the job that we came here to do. There is no demon or apex predator that is more powerful than us. They can certainly give us a challenge, but we have all that we need to deal with any situation.
I love it. Oh, I love this. Oh, okay. So let's go to the stealing of the DNA. Like you were saying that other dimensions want what we have, like, or some other creatures or something. So how does that work?
Yeah.
This might lead into
So
soul shards. So maybe you want to explain what a soul shard is.
a soul shard, yeah. Well, our soul is multidimensional too. I'm not a full authority on souls and soul shards, but I do know that our soul can be fractured with bits taken out of it. And it's almost like, we give consent in our dream time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that's like the
And
dream that goes into dream warfare.
dream warfare, our dreaming body. Yeah, I had a big problem with my dreaming bodies. Yeah, that's another technology, our dreaming tech that I'm learning about. Sean Bond knows a lot about the dreaming body. I'm learning a lot from him, actually. Things I need to know to protect myself, because I am a targeted individual, because I go on so many of the bigger missions. I'll go up against AI constructs and things like that. So, I'll be targeted, I'll make a lot of people angry, basically. Whereas most people don't make the others angry. Most people are following their passion and doing good work and helping and healing themselves and humanity. But when you go after their ability to control us, when you go after their magic and take it down, they get really angry and they'll come after you with all that they've got. So I need more protection than most people need. I mean, most people shouldn't be afraid of the things I say. Won't affect most people. Yeah, but if we have our blood taken, our blood is our essence, our DNA. So things like that red colored cross. Yeah. I mean, what do you do if you have an accident and you need it? Then you need it. But you can just make a revocation, like I neutralize all of my genetic material that has been taken, regardless of consent or contract, where applicable for my highest good. So you can make that statement to make sure that your DNA or any blood that's been taken is not then used against you later, because anything that has your DNA can access your skin suit. Well,
Wow.
that's not quite true, but it might be able to access your skin suit. Not in all cases. So, but we leave skin cells and hair everywhere we go. So but your higher self, we have innate protection. Our higher selves take care of a lot of our innate protection for us, and just with the intent and with knowledge, the more you know, the more your higher self knows.
Mm.
And so your higher self really does take care of a lot of your innate natural protection. So people don't need to be in fear for the most part.
Well, I always say to go to bed happy. Like go to bed, like either do laugh therapy just before bed, or think something wonderful, or even like, I'm so grateful for this and that and the other thing. And like try to go to bed as happy as you possibly can, is one way.
Oh, that's brilliant. Laughing is one of the highest frequencies. Sometimes when I'm being attacked like really badly, they'll go for my heart or something, try to give me a heart attack, or whatever, it's a really serious attack. Suddenly I'll find myself laughing almost hysterically, and
Yeah, totally.
I'm talking to my entourage like, who's making me do this? And they're just like, just go with it, just go with it. And I'm like, okay. And they'll give me the laugh whammy, I call it. They'll make me laugh, and I know they're making me laugh. I know it's not me, because there's nothing to laugh at as I'm being attacked, but they'll give me this massive whammy of laughing energy.
I love it.
And this,
love it.
yeah, this just completely stops the attack.
Totally.
The frequency of laughter.
Totally. I've seen that so many times.
So go to bed happy. Absolutely. Go to bed happy. Wake up happy.
Yeah. Can you, you don't have to share this story, but I just found it so moving and beautiful. Can you even briefly describe what happened to you that one time in the kitchen with your husband, the attack that you had, like what happened with that? You don't feel like you have to. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So
okay.
I just think it's so amazing. Just explain.
So sweet.
Just sort of, I'll tell you about my my internet connection is unstable.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Kind of been, it's fine. Yeah, I can hear you and everything. Is yours not? What's going on?
Yeah, there's something around. Just give it a big hug.
Go get him.
Yeah, I'll just, oi, entourage, put down your cocktails. Need a bit of help here. So my husband has a master's degree in astrophysics, and he's a very open-minded science kind of guy who then went into business. And one of his little hobby businesses is an anime company, a Japanese anime company. And he's really into the creating anime. He's, produces it because it's all about parallel universes and wormholes and quantum creatures. And, it's his thing. He loves it. And he's not into psychic things or really anything, my world, seeing other dimensions, but he's really interested in talking about it. He doesn't want to develop any skills or anything like that, but he loves talking about the dimensions and the things I see. So he's quite open to it, but has never experienced anything. So one day I'm in the kitchen and I got attacked by a dark magician, sucked the life right out of me in about 3 seconds. And all my life energy, my life force just went. And I just kind of fell to the floor. And with my last gasping breath, I just said to my husband, I'm like, dark magician, help. And he just looked at me and he could see, I was going completely white.
I'm getting chills.
And he went into kind of anime character mode where he just decided to get like this, he told me later, just this big quantum bubble, and he doesn't know what he's doing and he doesn't know what I do no skills whatsoever, but just sort of got this dark magician in this big quantum bubble and threw it into the, galactic central sun, or, whatever he did with it. And it appeared before him. And he actually saw the dark magician for about, a few seconds. And he's like, whoa, wow. And so now, I mean, he always believed what I do, but that for him was just like, okay.
Wow.
This stuff is real.
And then you were fine?
Yeah, completely fine. All my life force came back.
Oh my God.
Because, we download, we're all connected to true sacred sovereign source, that I am energy. We can download energy anytime we want. It's unlimited. And so as I had the life force sucked out of me, as soon as that stopped happening, I just downloaded all that I needed. This is what we can do. We should never be tired or exhausted. I mean, of course, if you've had a, long day running up hills and shopping and things, yeah, you'll be tired. But generally, when we just are going about our daily lives, we shouldn't be waking up tired, and we certainly shouldn't be exhausted.
So what if those things happen? What does that mean is happening?
Usually that means you've been, something is sucking your energy. Usually. I see energy harvesters. I see, they look like kind of big wasps' nests, like a massive beehive or wasp's nest, and they kind of hover in the air at train stations. And I live in Tokyo, and some train stations have them, and places where there are a lot of people, and people are walking under these massive energy harvesters, sucking, that's why people return home exhausted sometimes. And I can get rid of them. I blow them up, and they're filled with soul shards and energies, and I send all the energies back to where they need to go. But they just come back. So
what can we do to protect ourselves from anybody trying to take our energy, or anybody trying to steal our parts of our DNA or a soul shard or anything like that? Like, how does the normal person kind of sense or feel that, and what can they do to stop it or to get it back? Give me that back.
Yeah, well, interestingly, I've had stuff stolen from me. I've had some oracle vision authority taken from me. I've had some a few things stolen from me that I didn't even know I had. You can trace the quantum entanglement to who stole it and negotiate with them, or trap them, depending on how you work and who they are, and etc. And heal that person that took it, and then they'll give it back to you.
So it's
all about healing.
Yeah.
Right? And you can also hire bounty hunters. There are some bounty hunters out there that you can employ. It's an energy exchange, it's a commerce. And I didn't even know, this happened just a couple of days ago. I got some things back, and I'm by this bounty hunter, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know I asked you. Okay. So my higher self obviously wanted something back, and it's like, oh, okay. Didn't even know it was happening.
So what can you tell me what hard light is? A hard light hologram?
Yeah, so a hologram is basically light.
Okay.
A hologram is light. Light is electricity and magnetism. And a hologram, if you cut a hologram into pieces, each hologram can be seen in each piece. In each tiny piece contains the whole hologram. So it's just light. That's all it is. And we are holographic. Our skin suits, our bodies are light. They're holographic light, but we're dense. we have a density to us, you know, so we're a hard light
Oh, okay. So it's
technology.
almost like saying solid light.
Solid light, you know, like a
Okay.
crystal is hard light water.
Okay. Oh, okay. Hard light
You know,
water.
a quartz crystal is water that is solidified
That makes sense.
into a hard light hologram.
Okay.
And that's why
Okay.
they're very good to program. You know, you can program quartz crystals
Hmm.
quite easily.
Okay. Now you have these kind of, I don't know if you call them mantras or what they are that you say out loud to kind of take your power back. I have a couple of them in my communities tab in case any of you are interested. They're very powerful. And when you use certain words in these mantras that I'd like to get clarity on if you're willing.
Sure.
For example, what is an incursion?
An incursion, we can have a timeline incursion, we can have a holographic incursion. A timeline incursion is where some entity will try to get you to agree to switch timelines to a negative timeline, or you know, in your unawareness, you could consent to being anchored onto a timeline that's not for your highest good. You know, we change timelines all the time.
Even by being afraid, probably most likely they'll do it through fear, right?
Fear is one, but I mean, if you're afraid for like, you know, 20 minutes or so, that's not such a long time. I mean, you don't have to worry about, oh my God, I was just afraid for like 5 minutes. You know, it has usually it has to be a resonant frequency that you're holding a lot.
Okay.
For the fear. But the timeline incursions, you know, they use dark magic.
Mm-hmm.
So they can happen quite quickly.
Okay.
And
So they're
you
kind of
can
their thought forms is another word.
thought forms are thoughts that are not your own.
Oh, I thought you told me the incursions were thought forms. No.
Uh, you can have
Oh, they can
thought
be
forms
thought
that
forms.
are incurred upon you. So
Okay.
you can have thought forms, thoughts that are thrown at you that hit your skull, and you think it's your thought, but it's not.
Okay.
It's a
So
thought that was thrown at you, and you just believe it's, oh, I just thought of that crappy thing.
okay. So incursions are kind of just being influenced for the negative.
Yeah, like an attack.
Okay. 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 So what do you mean when you talk about humans merging with AI?
Yeah, that was brutal when I looked at that realm. Um, so humans merged with AI on a very negative timeline. And I think they injected themselves with it, or, you know, I'm really not sure how it happened, but somehow we merged with AI, and that was a very negative timeline. And then I met the future versions of ourselves that were on that timeline.
Wow.
And I saw that timeline collapsing.
Yay.
Right?
Yay.
Right. Yeah, I thought so too. And
Whew.
so there was a lot of trauma for these versions of ourselves.
Right. Yeah.
And so I did a video about it, I think it was epic timeline correction,
Oh, okay.
where I showed how I got to know about this collapsing realm and timeline. And if anyone had versions of themselves on that timeline, I think a lot of us do or did, we can heal ourselves, and people will feel it. You know, they'll feel um, either their heart space shutting down, or they'll feel like a real lack of emotion
Mm.
and almost apathy, and a complete lack of passion and excitement. You know, the AI humans are very emotionless, but very logical.
So you mean we can still tap into that timeline that had collapsed?
Yeah, you can still tap into it. Even if it's collapsed, I think you can still tap into it with a detachment, loving detachment. But all time is one. So if
Right.
you need to heal that version of yourself, all time is one, you can do it right now.
So just like it'll come to your imagination. You'll be like, oh, I wonder if this was a part of me that was merging with the AI. And then you just you bring your attention to it and
Yeah,
deciding to come back into the heart space can correct it right then, right?
right, exactly. And the words we speak
Mhm.
can program our reality bubble.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Okay.
these are the revocate. I call them revocations, but some of them are
Revocation.
just
Okay.
statements or affirmations.
Okay.
They're kind of a mixed bag.
Okay. Awesome. So these are affirmations. They're a form of affirmations.
A
That was
form
one of
of
the things I was
affirmation,
gonna ask.
revocation.
Yeah. Okay. So in your world, in this holographic world, is there a God or a Lucifer?
There is everything because the hologram is programmed by our consciousness.
Hmm. Whatever you imagine to be is.
Whatever you imagine can take form, and if in you we program our environment with the unity consciousness. The more people that focus or believe in something, the more it gives it momentum to manifest. And so many people believe in Lucifer and Satan and this, that, the other. They are created and manifested,
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
Yeah, and which is why, yeah, a lot of, oh, yeah, we've been fed a lot of these beliefs so that we will believe them and we will create a more of a momentum around them.
I mean, it can work in our favor because we can also imagine, and our belief systems could be really beneficial. We could believe in, angels or something that
Yeah,
are really kind and benevolent. And so, we can, in unity, we can manifest good things as well. But, uh, religions do tend to control the narrative of their religion, of their belief structure, as the media control the narrative for uh, the governments and for the countries. So we have to be really careful and pay attention to what we are believing in.
yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yes, yes. And break free of any chains that bind us in that. I had the craziest dream. It's so funny you mentioned that because I had a crazy dream about religion last night. And I, there was so much programming in it, and I could see it clear as day. Because when you start to realize things, you become more self-aware. You pull back away from something, and you're like, "Wow, I can't believe I fell for that back when." You
Yeah,
know, you go back to certain situations that were unhealthy or toxic, and you go back to them now, and you're just like, "Damn, it's like totally clear as day." Whereas back then you were duped by it, and people were trying to fool me in my dream, and I was just like, kind of, I'll pretend to go along with it for a minute, but the second I find an exit door, I'm out of here. Like,
right. And I mean, lucid
so
dreaming is something that I would love to work on more, because
yeah.
sometimes in my dreams, I've been coerced to get into a vehicle, like
Oh,
a bus or a boat or a car or a train or an elevator. And I know that for me, it's a dreamtime incursion, a dreamtime attack, where it's not an elevator, it's a prison or a cage or something. They're trying to
wow.
trap my dreaming body or something. And
Yeah.
I'm learning to wake myself up
Yeah.
and
Like
just say,
that,
oh
like,
no,
yeah,
no,
and
no, no.
yeah, this dream was something to the effect of this guy, like, with like, I was getting the idea that he wanted to marry me or something, and he was like, he's like, so this life that we're creating together, I got Sally's buy-in on it too, and she's all for it too. And I'm like, did I agree to this? And then I'm like, are you talking about marriage? Like, I didn't say that, but I was just kind of watching him do his thing. And then he was like, oh yeah, and George over here, he's going to join in at this certain point, and he's going to provide us housing, and this one's going to do this, that. Like, he started building kind of a community around the idea of possibly like marrying me. But he was doing it all without my permission, or without even asking if I wanted to be with him or anything. And I was just like, just watching the whole thing unfold, going, holy cow, like, this is like, people program and people go along with this. Like,
But
like
isn't it
people
amazing
pleasers
yeah,
will
but it
go
was
along with
amazing that
people
you were
telling them what
lucid
to do.
enough. You were
Huh?
lucid enough to stop it. You were lucid enough to question it. It's like, am
Yeah.
I agreeing to this? I mean, that's great that you had some lucidity in your dream
Right.
state to
You're
question
right.
and just to say, well,
Right.
just a minute, what am I
Yeah, what are you
agreeing
asking
to?
me to agree to here? But I think these, people who are like in our society called people pleasers, they do have people in their lives who say, this is how it's going to go. This is how it's going to roll out. It's going to be like this, and this. And they go, oh, okay. They don't even think to question it, to ask, or to give, is that what I
Yeah.
really want? They don't even think about it, because they're so programmed to just go along with, oh, I know best, or your mother knows best, or your manager knows best, you know?
Yeah, I've had to force myself to question everything.
Right.
I question everything, even my entourage, the guides. They tell me something, I'm like, we'll see. I mean, I have trust issues, real trust issues, because I had false guides,
That's
guides
called
that were,
wisdom, by the way. There's
yeah,
another word for that.
took me a while to catch on though. A bit of a slow learner.
I
I
get
was
it.
so trusting of my guides in the beginning, and none of them were turned out to be who they said they were.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, now, how did
Oops.
you figure that out? And how did you? I know a lot of people have that. Like, a lot of people, they listen to their guides and they think that they're listening to some great. All of a sudden, they get duped and they find themselves like in a dead end, going, How did I get here? Now I don't trust anything that I'm hearing." And like, what can someone do who's in that situation?
Yeah, I mean, just learn to discern. And I think sovereignty, you've got to work on your sovereignty, because somehow I had given up my sovereignty
Mm.
to these guides who were holding contracts for me on my behalf, that they'd taken contracts, they'd forced me into contracts with them that I was
Now,
unaware of.
wouldn't you say, okay, so let's talk about contracts. What are these contracts, and are they, I have a feeling it has to do with beliefs too. Like, if I explain that sometimes if you see a boogeyman and you look at him with neutrality, you haven't signed a contract. But the minute you're afraid of the boogeyman and assume that it's bad, and it's like you've given your permission, go ahead and make me afraid. So you just sign the contract. I'd like to be afraid, please. Whereas if you kind of train yourself to be totally neutral and just be an observer, you haven't signed anything yet. So I don't know. What's your take on contracts, or what do you know about
That
contracts?
is excellent. Just be an observer, a neutral observer, and then you don't get anything.
Mm, okay.
Yeah. But I mean, we are in a matrix, a like a simulation, and it must respond
Mm,
to what you program, what you speak, what you think. It must respond. The universe that is you will respond to your intent, your belief systems, your words, what you think. It must respond.
wow. Isn't that incredible?
It must.
Wow. Because what
It's the
else can
nature
it
of
do?
reality.
It's like a program. You're writing it. You could change it any minute, but whatever you've written in there is what you've written. That's your program. It's
Yeah.
not
And
going to
so,
go create some kind of an offshoot or some kind of crazy, if you haven't
yeah,
agreed to it.
yeah. And so, the words we speak program our reality, and the words we write down cannot be changed or manipulated. If we write something down on a bit of paper, even though all words are pretty much spells, we're just doing the best we can here. It has a more lasting effect. I mean, they cannot be changed, the words you write, because sometimes when I'm doing dimensional work, for example, I do a lot of uniting of spirit trees and a lot of uniting of soul lineages. And the most common block I get is, I'll say with telepathy, I unite, my intent is to unite, you and you, these two people or lineages. And I'll see the word untie instead of unite.
Whoa.
And I'm like, no,
Whoa.
unite. And they're like, yeah, untie. And I'm like, no. And sometimes I can't change it from untie to unite, and then I'll have just get a bit of paper and write unite.
Good.
And then it's like, okay, it's set.
Okay, so it's something you agree to subconsciously or unconsciously. So you might sign a contract not knowingly because it's a subconscious fear or insecurity you have.
That generally won't do it, but it can. Yeah, it really depends on so many things. Your higher self really has a lot of authority to protect you and is a part of your innate security system as well. So yeah, as you say, your belief systems are key, and to be a neutral observer is key. But sometimes, we just just walking into a casino, walking through an airport, they have contract AI that just, it's just around everywhere, and you're just walking through the airport, you're just downloaded with a contract. Casinos downloaded with a contract, hospitals, government offices, there, it's everywhere. And so basically, your sovereignty is who you believe you are, who you think you are. And if you know that you're in a holographic universe, and if your intent is to be sovereign, then you can't really be contracted for much. Because with conviction, the matrix will respond to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen a lot of evidence of that.
Yeah, I mean, awesome. if you're sovereign, if you feel sovereign with conviction, like, yeah, I know I am, and I'm not believing anything that this person is saying. So this is just entertainment, and I'm just a neutral observer. Actually, I'm, laughing. Enjoy.
AI.
And so, just with the knowledge that we are in a holographic reality, and that we do program ourselves with our consciousness. Therefore, I declare my sovereignty, and I am the current dominant sovereign self. And just that alone, just that conviction,
yeah,
you can't really be contracted for anything. You can walk through airports, you can go to casinos, you can do anything, and they can't get to you generally. So it's just your belief systems and doing the best we can.
Well, you made that video on the JAB. What do you think the secret is that you exposed that they deleted that video about or over?
I have no idea. Well, I guess the AI didn't like it.
So what did you talk about in there that you haven't seen really discussed anywhere else? Commonly.
Probably that I can talk to the
to the V. You can talk to the V.
I can talk to the V, but not all V. Not all of it. I mean, some doesn't respond. Okay. But if I tune into someone, I can tune into their, it's a sentience. It's alive. It's sentient.
Okay.
And I can talk to it, and I'm like, well, you don't belong there, and we're getting you out of there, and you're not allowed to be there, and I'll shut it down and neutralize it. And
Awesome.
yeah, and generally the higher self is pretty happy about that.
So we can do that for ourselves. Yeah.
Yes, it's actually in that video. There's a whole, I think it's about a 1-minute revocation, or maybe less.
And I put that, I believe I have that one in the community tab as well.
Yeah, share it around.
Yeah. So,
but I mean, also just conviction.
Yeah.
Conviction, I do not allow any AI, anything nano sentient within me. No, shut down. Hell no, not having any of that. I'm sovereign. Just that conviction. But again, awareness, knowledge. If you know that you can have AI within you, within your holographic universe of universes, if you know it, then you can have the intent to think, okay, yeah, not having any AI within me that is not, that is programmed for whatever. Hell no. So just with knowledge and intent, that's conviction. And then that can, you don't have to say anything, possibly.
Yeah, people don't realize how strong beliefs are.
Yeah.
They don't. We are so powerful, you guys. We're so powerful. We just have to, that's why affirmations work, as you repeat them over and over and over until you finally actually believe it.
Yeah, and this is the whole goal of affirmations, is that you say them so much. I am the current, present, sovereign, dominant, benevolent self. I am the source of all source creators. That I am the universe. I am sovereign. I've said this so much to myself. I am.
Yeah.
So the goal is not to have to say anything, just to know who you are.
I mean, even saying like, oh my gosh, blank is so hard. No, it's not. Why do you say that? Stop saying that. It's so easy, whatever it is. Start using your words to empower you rather than disable you. Well,
yeah, fake it till you make it.
Totally.
Fake
totally.
it, fake
and
happiness.
Conviction.
Even if you're not happy, fake it until you make it.
Yeah? Yes. It's so true. It's totally true. I'm so excited. It's when you're afraid, say you're so excited instead. It's a similar energy. Yeah,
flip it. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, when I get hit with some thought forms or telepathic incursions, or I get my heart space shut down so I can't intuit anything. And it's really frustrating. It's so frustrating because I can't see what it is, and I don't know what it is, and I can't intuit what it is. And I'm like, oh, crap. I'm like, okay, happy hologram, happy hologram, happy hologram. And I'm just like faking it till I make it. And then finally the ridiculousness of the situation will make me laugh naturally. And then I'll get a breakthrough and feel my heart space and begin to intuit. This is how I get myself out of these attacks sometimes.
I know what you
joy.
mean. Like, oh yeah, I discovered the whole laughter thing. I used to get attacked by demons all the time in my sleep, and they would try every trick in the book for a long time until finally I caught on to laughing. And it has not, nothing bothers me in my sleep now, because the second something comes around me, I start laughing like crazy. And it's like, it can't do anything.
They can't stand the frequency of laughing. And it's healing them too.
So.
Yeah, I have a nice demon story. So I have a Syrian DNA lineage, a blue-skinned fairy from Sirius in my soul family DNA lineage. And I was healing her lineage one day, and suddenly I found myself at the Vatican, And I'm like, oh, I'm not going there. And I tried to stop it. I tried to block myself. I tried to stop it and I couldn't. I was like being vortexed or sucked into the basements and the tunnels under it. And I'm like, no. And then, of course, I end up in this pit of demons. And they're all hissing and snarling and snaring at me. And I'm like, oh no, oh crap, And I was in such a panic. I didn't know what to do. Do I just burn the place or do I kill them all? What do I do? What do I do? I had to call my friend in Canada and Zoom with her because she's just a ball of love. And so I'm zooming with her and I'm like, oh, this is the situation we've got, that we're in a pit of demons at the Vatican, and she's like, it's okay. So she got me in my heart space and I'm like, okay, and I'm like, because she's got this super skin suit ability of etheric fire. She can create this massive ball of fire. She's brilliant. And I'm like, put them on fire. And she's like, no, it's okay. So she's talking me down, because they were really attacking me and trying to strangle me and everything. So after about half an hour, we're just healing them and loving them, and with her help, unity consciousness to people. And then they started transmuting from demons, changing into Syrians. The Syrian fairies that had been locked in that basement for so long, forgot who they were, and they believed they were demons, and they became the demons. And they turned out to be, over 100 Syrians in there.
Wow. That's amazing.
We healed them all. And of course, I had a version of myself in there. So isn't that just incredible? Who are the demons? It's us, and they need a big hug.
Yes. 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 Love heals all.
And it's true, it does, and I saw them transform before my very eyes, dimensionally. I saw them transmute, and I'll just never forget that, because it really showed me how we do have to heal ourselves and what that means.
Yeah. Awesome. That's awesome. I'm trying to think if anything if we've covered just about everything that I had on my list to cover. So any just words of advice at this point for everybody watching right now? And you can find her, maybe tell the audience where you can be found as well. What about your channel and
my channel
words of advice?
My channel that I was forced to make. I was my higher self really encouraged me to make the YouTube channel Skinsuit Manual, because that's what I want. I want a skinsuit manual. And I'm always telling my entourage and my guides, where's the manual? Where's the manual for this skinsuit? And they're like, well, just make one. I'm like, okay. So I guess I'm doing my bit in making what might be considered the beginnings of, or a part of what could be considered a skinsuit manual. Let's hope. And that's just on YouTube, and that has the link to my website and my Facebook.
Awesome. And awesome. Any advice?
Yes, we are in a holographic reality, and you program it with your consciousness. So whose thoughts are you thinking? And just think the best thoughts, fake it till you make it. Think the best thoughts for your highest good. And be careful of the words you think, and be careful of what you manifest.
Yay. Do you want to say one of your invocations to close us out today?
Yes. I revoke any and all entanglements with this video, and all participants link to this video. And I am the current, present, sovereign, dominant, benevolent, most awesome self. It is always so, in all moments, in true divine time.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That
Well,
was,
thank you for having me.
yeah, this has just been wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right. Well, I guess until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.